Okay, this is the first of a series of tutorials on character design, rigging, and animation. You can see here the process. It starts from a digital sphere, and then it gradually evolves into the final design. Quite a gruesome character there, very similar to Gollum, I suppose, from Lord of the Rings. You can see something that I'm going to be talking about later, and that is subtle detail in the texture mapping. Texture mapping refers to the color that's added to the model at the end. And you can see there's very subtle variations in tone and color, as well as real small details like the blood vessels. So it's very important in creating a convincing character. So we're going to start with this program right here. It's called Sculptris. I'm going to open it up, and at the moment it's a sort of a green plasticine clay. I'm going to change that, something a little bit brighter. I know it stands out a little bit better on the screen. It's got a little bit of reflections as well. Now, I will give you more details on how to sculpt completely from scratch, but as a starting point, when you're learning the software, it's sometimes easier to use pre-built components, and that's what we're going to do for this lesson. We're going to go over here to where it says Import, and I'm going to go to the desktop where I've saved a folder called Alien Animation. And all of these files will be on the RM shared folder for you. Okay, so I'm going to start off with alien heads. And if you pick one and you don't like it, you can press Ctrl Z to undo and pick a different one. So for example, I'll pick the first one and say New Scene. And then if you go over outside of the model and click the left mouse button and move, that's a bit like the Orbit tool in SketchUp. And you can rotate around this alien head. And I'm actually not going to choose that one, so I'm going to press Ctrl Z to undo that. Okay. Import. I'm going to go to the one that says Josh Crockett. Import that one. Say New Scene. And that's what I'm going to be using for the demonstration. Import. Go back to the folder where there's torsos. And there's actually a torso that goes with this model. So I'm going to click on that one. And this time, instead of New Scene, I'm going to click on Add Object. Okay. Now, I should have told you earlier, but we need to turn on symmetry. And that's this button here. I press OK. And now, if I clicked out there, I would get two torsos. But if I only want one, go in the middle where they meet until you see one sphere. Click once. That will add the torso, and then we can position it into position. Okay. You can see that at the moment it's too small and it's not aligned in the right fashion. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit using your mouse wheel. Okay. Go to perhaps a side view. Get the move tool, make sure global is on. It's actually called grab. Move it down like that. Get the rotate tool, again make sure global is on. Rotate it in that direction. Orbit to the front view. We can see how that's working now. Grab it and move it there. Now I'm going to need to zoom out quite a bit. Get the scale tool, which is above the grab tool. And then grab that down a little bit, back a bit. And at this stage, I'm getting close, so I'm going to scale it up just a little bit more and put it into position. Perfect. Now I'm going to press Ctrl A, and that enables me to see the entire model. Okay? So I think I'll just shrink that a little bit more. See, now it's shrinking the whole thing. So what I need to do is press Ctrl D, click on the object I want to shrink, and then I can shrink just that object. Something like that. Okay, now I'm going to add some sort of clause. So I'm going to say, actually now would be a good time to say save. And I'll save it into my folder. alien animation, and I'm going to call it Alien 3 because I've already made 2 earlier ones. Once I've done that, I can carry on working, knowing that if it crashes for some reason, I won't lose all my work. Now I'm going to say import. Alien legs. I think there were some claws here. I'm kind of liking that. So I need to try to position that onto those arms. So I'm going to get my grab tool. Now I've just distorted this, and I will show you about that later, but at the moment the reason that happened is because I don't have global on. Global will move the entire object, whereas if I turn the global off, it'll allow me to distort it. Get my rotate tool. Grab tool. I think I might scale it up just a little bit. And I do want to overlap it with the existing arm that's already there. Try to rotate it into position a little bit. A bit like built-in armor, I suppose. That's it. Excellent. If I press Control A, you can see how that's all set. Yes, I do like this one. Something like that, but I need to rotate it around so it's not overlapping itself. Something like that. Maybe rotate it this way too. Your rotation really depends on the angle that you're looking at the object from. That's a bit more like what I wanted. And I've kind of got a weird gap in our void there, so I'm going to use the inflate tool. So if I click on the inflate tool there, get a relatively large brush, turn detail slider into the middle, strength into the middle, and I'm going to just touch that little bit right there to bring those muscles out a bit. Not all in one place because it might look odd, and I'm pretty happy with that. I'm not going to go into much more detail for this demonstration. And we're ready to paint the model.